Nickelodeon is turning 40 years old.
Ah!
And we're going to cover it in this episode of Nowstalgia, the show where we revisit topics of the past because they're trending now. Coming up. What is up, Internet? Retro and Tommy here, and this month is a special month because Nickelodeon is turning 40.
Oh, man.
Well, I mean, we haven't been around the whole time. Neither of us are 40. We're not
close.
We're not far. We're not far off. But, man, Nickelodeon, man. I mean, VHS, just shut off. Retro, man. Old stuff room. Cool. Anyway.
Old stuff room. Welcome to the old stuff room.
We just wanted to make an episode talking about some of the history about Nickelodeon, some things you might not know about Nickelodeon, and then really just some of our memories about it to celebrate what's happening with it being 40.
It's a milestone.
It is a milestone. So yeah, we're gonna talk about just a couple things, a couple memories. Now, I know it was a big part of my childhood. Yours as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was, for anybody our age, like, it was a big part of our childhood. Like,
yeah.
Like, that's where everything came from.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was, like, the equivalent of, like, all the memes and everything that's, like, the kids today, like, every kid knows how to do the floss. Every kid knows all those dances.
And also put some floss music or some floss cringy music, so you can floss to that.
They have all their little things that all these kids
Oh, I was
do.
fixing to say, is the floss part Nickelodeon?
No.
I freaking missed it, dude.
I'm saying, like, all these kids today, like, people are like, oh, these kids, and, like, they all do the same thing. And it's like, yeah, but, like, Nickelodeon was, like, the thing that, like,
yeah,
that's where we got all of our stuff from.
Yeah.
It was from Nickelodeon.
Yeah. I watched, I was going to say, so I didn't watch Cartoon Network. I didn't really even watch Disney. I watched Nickelodeon. That's what we had. That's what I watched all the time.
How did you have Nickelodeon and not Cartoon Network? Like, they're both part of the same cable package.
I just don't know.
You just never thought to check out Dexter's Lab. Like,
I don't know, man. I just never did. I never watched it. I never even, like, thought to click over. I'm happy with Rocko's Modern Life. I don't know.
Straight addicted to Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Just like,
but
break the channel buttons off. Only Nickelodeon.
But yeah, I mean, my childhood was completely Nickelodeon. I mean, thinking about all the shows I wanted to be on. You know what I mean?
Every one of them?
Yeah, I mean,
all the live action shows?
Yeah. But probably my strongest memory of Nickelodeon was, it was like the first time I remember sitting down with my dad and I would watch Doug. I would watch Doug with my dad. Doug is so good because there's always, like, first of all, Doug's like a big baby, to be honest.
Yeah.
But, like, there's always that, like, lesson. There's always, like, I gotta learn something to become a better little boy.
Kind of like when they did in Full House, like, every single episode was like, let's sit down and talk about a thing.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And, like, my dad would always, he'd be like, well, Ricky, what did you learn? I'm like, well, I need to learn that if I have a zit, it's okay not to be scared of people make fun of me. He's like, that's a good boy. It's like, my dad, that's a good boy. He's like John Wayne or something like that.
I learned that you could take bananas and dip them in pizza sauce.
Oh, yeah.
Because remember the episode where they make the banana pizza? That was my favorite one. I was like, dude, I gotta try that. So I did. I got pizza sauce and bananas, and I was like dipping it. Like,
Yeah. That was like my main memory. That and, like, seeing the commercial about the sweepstakes. Remember the sweepstakes things?
Like, they would.
Yeah, it was like, it's like, if you win this or you do whatever, you can go to Toys R Us. And you have $1,500, but it was always like, there was like a time limit for some reason.
Yeah.
It was like, but you only have 35 seconds to spend it. It's like, ah!
Well, they always have those other things too, where it's like, call this number right now in the 15th caller, and like every kid is like calling, like,
oh yeah. What was your favorite animated show?
Rugrats.
Really?
Yeah. As a kid, like, at the time, I wanted to learn how to draw, so I'd watch these television shows and, like, push pause, and then I'd try to, like, draw my favorite characters.
Oh,
yeah. And so I would do that, but then, like, whenever I'm, like, watching Rugrats, I'm like, dude, like, it shows you the living room. The living room's, like, huge, and like their little playpens here, there's just nothing there.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
This is so weird. Like the hallways were always like super. I was like, this is dumb. Everything from the audio, the sound effects, all the music, all the visuals, like the artwork, the big vibrant colors, like everybody's facial expressions. Even like my favorite episode was the one where like Chucky's afraid and like he's like an adult.
Oh
he has to go work,
yeah.
you know, and like even then, like even though he's an adult, like everything about his fears and all the stuff that he's experiencing is like still exaggerated from the perspective of this baby, which is just, I don't know. So like this thing clicked with me whenever I was like watching the Rugrats, and like it made me like really just appreciate everything about it. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
but I love that show. Like,
speaking of drawing, it made me think of I used to. I'm not an artist by any means, but you know, as a kid, you'd like doodle or whatever in class. I would always draw Max from a Goofy movie.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know.
He was awesome. Would you draw like the one where he's like at the concert and he's like,
oh no, gosh. It just was like, I don't know if it was just easy to draw, like his features or something like that, but it's what I always drew. I drew that, and I drew the Chicago Bulls emblem, and I drew a Nike sign.
I hate the Chicago Bulls.
I drew a Nike sign with flames. Like it was going through like a ring of flames.
Wow.
I'm going to draw it. And I'm going to
show
friggin' put it on this video.
Oh, I can't believe you're a Bulls fan. Yeah.
I don't think I was.
No, everybody was a Bulls fan. Like,
I mean, yeah, they
Jordan,
were killer back then.
Dude, Utah Jazz was my favorite team.
John Stockton,
Karl Malone, and they'd always like lose in the championship flu game. Michael Jordan like going out like to the side, just throwing up in a bucket, and then continued to crush everybody. Oh,
I didn't know we were gonna go 90s sports too.
Sorry, didn't mean to.
No,
it happens. Happens like a Wikipedia article. Like you start looking up something, and like 3 hours later,
where am I?
Down the rabbit hole.
Did you know? So here's fun fact number one. I'm gonna quiz Tommy since he's a Rugrats fan already.
Ooh.
Nicktoons, the animated. This is where it all began. The animated cartoons for Nickelodeon. They actually aired or released Nicktoons.
Yes, like
all on the same day.
The Nicktoons series.
Nicktoons series on the same day. August 11th, 91. Do you know the 3 shows? Rugrats is one.
I mean, Rugrats is one, but I think Doug was too, because I think I remember there being like a box set for Nicktoons, and I remember there being like Doug in it and Rugrats, and I don't know what else.
Ren and Stimpy.
Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
It's long, it's big, it's heavy, it's wood.
I didn't really watch Ren and Stimpy. My parents were like, that's too dirty for you, so I didn't get to really watch it.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't have really any restrictions, did you?
I mean, no, not for like stuff like that. If it was cartoons or whatever, I could watch it. I mean, but like I was also responsible. I knew I couldn't like just go around quoting Ren and Stimpy or I'd get in trouble. Like,
yeah. But yeah, a lot of people don't know that they actually released all 3 of those shows on the same day, which is pretty cool.
This Sunday, why face the nation when you can face the animation? Nickelodeon's new cartoons are stimulating and tasty. Think of them as cartoon coffee. They're Doug, Rugrats, Ren and Stimpy, and they'll never discuss foreign policy. The TV generation knows you can never outgrow good cartoons. So watch Nicktoons this Sunday starting at 10/9 Central only on Nickelodeon.
So what are some of your most memorable moments in Nickelodeon? Watching, seeing, remembering?
Coming home from school, first of all, like I go to my friend's house or whatever, and you'd get the little like Debbie brownies or whatever, little snacks, you know.
Oh, you're like the whole experience,
dude.
like...
The whole experience is like it's a thing.
I got
like,
my Surge.
You get your
got my Debbie's.
No, not Surge. Surge is so great. I didn't like Surge. A Sprite was where it was at for me.
Yeah, Sprite Remix.
I liked Sprite Remix. That was pretty dope. Yeah, but no, like you get your little Debbie brownie, and then we'd start watching, and like there was all those like kind of like reality game show. Things like Wild and Crazy Kids and stuff like that. Like I loved those, like because in my mind I was always like, I could beat all those kids.
Yeah.
Legends of the Hidden Temple, I could beat all those kids. Not only am I smart, but
I could beat all those kids, and I could win the new Casio keyboard.
Yeah, or a trip to whatever. But no, like they were all like those kids like were all ignorant. Like they get there, they finally get to the temple, and then they're like trying to put the feet on top of the head. Like, it's 3 pieces. Feet, belly, head. It's not that hard.
No, because they're terrified of the little Indian man.
the Temple Guardian?
Yes, those freak me out. I'd pee my pants, man.
Everybody my age pees their pants. It's the coolest.
If I was trying to, like, I can't see, it's dark, I'm on TV, people are looking at me, I'd be like, ah! Like, it would freak me out.
Like, I don't even know why you would apply to go on that show if you didn't have the whole thing memorized.
I don't know, you can memorize it.
I mean, it's the same temple. Like, you know where all the rooms are.
Yeah, but they hide the keys different places.
You have to go to different places, but it's like, if you know the layout, it would make it so much easier.
So,
it's like, you remember the game show they had on there where it was like, you could win the video games? And, like, there was, like, that final thing.
I was going to say that. I was going to say, what was your favorite game show that you wish you could have been on?
Oh, gosh, dude. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. Velcroing video games to your body.
Nick Arcade? That's mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one where you would win all the video games, right?
Well, you could be in the video game.
Maybe I'm thinking something different.
Yeah. My Velcroing, I'm trying to think. There's
Google.
2 hours later.
Okay. Yeah. So 90 to 92. But yeah, it revolved around video games. You'd play video games and compete against other kids, and then so all these regular NES games, you'd compete against them, and like the kid that won, they got to like wear this suit like with Velcro on it, and they went through an obstacle course with like regular cartridge like NES games with Velcro, and you just like stick them to your body, and you had to run through like supermarket sweep but with video games, and you're like putting them all over your body and like going down the slide, and it's like, oh, I got all these video games.
This is definitely not Nickelodeon. I've never heard of it, but I want to watch it so badly.
Oh, gosh.
It's not Nickelodeon.
It's definitely not Nickelodeon.
Well, what I was gonna say, my favorite is one of those shows that people don't talk about. Is Nick Arcade.
Nick Arcade! And now here's your host, the guy who once ate his entire weight in marshmallow fluff, Phil Moore!
No, like
that was the one where you were like, yeah.
Yeah, it was like they played arcade games, and the guy
It was like
the
green
host,
screen, like.
Yeah, and the host he did like, "Are you all ready?" And he like did something with his like I don't know why he did that, but it was his thing. And then after whatever winning team got to be basically in the video game, it was like a green screen.
Yeah.
But is there a show that you liked that people don't talk about a lot, or it's like kind of forgotten?
Dude, I don't think there's any like 90s Nick shows that have been forgotten.
Well, I'm saying like no one talks about Nick Arcade.
That's true. I think that's probably the most rare one then, because like people know about Clarissa Explains It All and all those like.
I mean, Salute Your Shorts is one of those shows that
so
a lot of people know about it, but they only filmed Salute Your Shorts for 1 year. Like it's one of those shows that you've watched it and you've watched the episodes, that it feels like I watched Salute Your Shorts my whole life, and it's like they literally only made like 22 episodes or something like that. They didn't make very many at all. But you recycled them, and watched them over and over again.
And there was Hey Dude. I liked that one a lot.
Which Hey Dude's turning 30 this year.
Woohoo! I'm older than Hey Dude. Yeah, there was that show. It was really sweet. I mean, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's any shows that are like really forgotten.
Yeah.
I mean, Are You Afraid of the Dark was one that a lot of people like really liked a whole lot.
I was gonna say one of my most memorable things is watching Doug when I first started growing up, and as I got older, Snick.
Yeah.
Snick that stands for Saturday Night, right?
Yeah. And it was. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like Are You Afraid of the Dark, Kenan and Kel, all that, and it was like the Saturday Night Live for kids.
Yeah.
It's like I remember going.
YouTube.
Yeah, I mean I remember going. First of all, I don't know if this is what it was like for you, but like growing up, you went to school to get to Friday night to either spend the night at someone's house or they came over to your house every week, and it was like you like figured out like, okay, this week I'm going to Jimmy's house and he has an N64. And then the next week you're like, well, I'm going to Sonny's house and Sonny has a PlayStation, and it's like you almost like planned your weeks around that. And like, but it didn't matter. Anytime I went to my friend's house, we always stopped whatever we were doing and we would watch like the Snick. 3 or 4 episodes of Snick. And I remember like the big orange couch and those commercials for that.
I remember that episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark with the pinball machine?
Yes.
Yeah, that was like my favorite one.
Another fun fact. We're going to tell you a couple things that you might not know. Jessica Alba, that's where she got her start, was in Secret World of Alex Mack. And then Ryan Gosling, people will think always like he got to start on Mickey Mouse Club. He got he got his start like as himself.
Yeah.
In the Mickey Mouse Club, but his first actual acting was in Are You Afraid of the Dark?
That's sweet.
Yeah, most people don't typically know about that. And now he's a hunk.
Huh? Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, that's, I mean, for me, like, those are like the live action shows that coming home after school or to a friend's house after school and watching those things, and then the cartoons were much more difficult to like keep up with because you had to get them recorded. And, like, All Real Monsters was so good too.
I never loved it. I'm not saying I don't like it, but
should have.
Yeah, it's just okay. So yeah, Nickelodeon is turning 40. It actually originally started off, it was called Pinwheel, and it was like a non-profit kids show-ish thing, no commercial based, and then Nickelodeon, they rebranded in '79, and they rebranded as Nickelodeon.
Thank goodness they did.
Yeah, and the channel name comes from the original 5-cent movie theater. They're called Nickelodeons.
Okay.
Nickelodeons. And I think there's like a Titanic. I remember there's like a Titanic scene where he's like, I remember I saw it on a Nickelodeon. And I was like, why are they talking about Nickelodeon, Dad? He's like, why are you watching this
Why are you
movie?
watching Titanic with your dad?
He's like, why are you watching this movie, kid?
Oh, no. Dude.
Risque.
I loved, like, so, and this didn't just apply to Nickelodeon, but, like, like, when it comes to holidays and stuff like that, like, I'm very much that person that wants to get into the spirit. Like, I love all the Halloween music and the Halloween decorations at all the stores and the Christmas music and the decorations.
Or Scared Stupid.
I love that movie, too. That movie was so good.
The milk.
Like, I loved it. But no, so, like, I looked forward every single year to the Halloween and Christmas episodes of every show. Like, every show had them. Like, and I would record them, and I would make, like, mixtapes, essentially, mixed videotapes for Christmas shows. Like, the Christmas special.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the Christmas special for the Rugrats, the Christmas special for All Real Monsters, the Christmas special for Doug. Like, I'd record all those and get all those. Like, even for, like, TGIF, like, Sabrina the Teenage Witch Christmas special. Like, that's so cool!
Yeah.
Or the Halloween one, because the Halloween ones were really cool.
Sabrina, that was Nickelodeon?
No, I was saying even for like shows that weren't Nickelodeon, like I looked forward to like TGIF and all those things. Like I looked forward to the holiday episodes of like everything.
Yeah.
Because there's just like I was always in the spirit, you know, and it's like, oh, it's Halloween time. I'm like picking out my Halloween costume. I'm getting ready for it, and like all these television shows are gonna have a Halloween special.
Oh yeah, every time.
Especially The Simpsons, Treehouse of Horror.
Simpsons turning 30 this year.
They're not turning 300.
Longest running cartoon, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. What was, I'm quizzing Tommy on a couple of these things. What was the first Nickelodeon movie?
The first Nickelodeon movie?
They released movies in the 90s.
Yeah, I remember like the Wild Thornberries, and they released, I think they released a Doug movie too, and like Doug the movie.
Doug the movie they actually released that as a Disney movie. That's when Disney took over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I know they had Rugrats movies.
Live action, though. There's live action, Nickelodeon.
Oh, like Good Burger?
Good Burger was the first, though. Do you
Was
think
it
Good
the
Burger is the first?
I mean,
I thought Good Burger was the first.
I mean, that's just the first one that came to my mind.
And my wife called me out. She's like, no. Good Burger's not the first. I'm like...
Because you know it because like the bright orange cassette tapes.
Yes. I was going to say also, what if you see... Because we go thrifting, and we look at garage sales and thrift stores, and anytime I see a orange cassette or orange VHS, what movie do you think it is?
I just think of Rugrats like episodes.
I think it's Good Burger every time. It's never Good Burger, but I always think it's Good Burger. My wife called me out. She's like, "Good Burger's not the first one." I'm like, "Really? I think it is." She's like, "It's not."
Is it like Clarissa Explains It All?
It's Harriet the Spy.
Oh yeah.
Michelle Trachtenberg.
Yep.
It was Harriet the Spy. Then it was Good Burger. 96 Harriet the Spy. 97 Good Burger, and then the Rugrats movie.
Yeah.
In 99, and those were all the Nickelodeon movies in the 90s. Were just those three. And then the next one was, I looked at it a little while ago, was Snow Day.
That one with that, what's that, Hoku. Like
yes!
That's alright.
We're going to put a clip in just enough to not get copyrighted. So you can hear it.
Okay.
That's alright. That's okay. You never loved me anyway.
sing the whole song for
Well,
him.
what's funny about that movie too is
That movie was good though. I liked it.
I liked it too. The thing about that movie was I love that Chevy Chase is in that movie. It was like such a lull for
Yeah,
Chevy Chase.
Chase.
He's like, I ain't got no work. I will take anything. I will be in snow day. He's like the weatherman.
Hey Chevy Chase, you ever heard of Hoku? Nope. Well, you want to do this movie? Yes.
Seriously, it's like, what was Chevy
It's
Chase
like-
doing?
And it's like he has that big romantic gesture where he like digs a whale.
You made this for me? Why?
It's your favorite animal, a whale.
But I like zebras.
Huh?
Yeah.
On the football field. Like, why would you waste your whole snow day doing that, you idiot?
Do you ever think of like these really known actors? Like, we're talking about Snow Day right now.
Yeah.
Do you think he has even thought about Snow Day since Snow Day? Like,
No.
since he did that movie?
No, like Jack Black hasn't thought about any of those old things he's done either.
Never ending
Like, never ending story.
So, yep, that's all we had for this episode of Nowstalgia. Let us know down in the comments what your favorite live action, what your favorite cartoon was, maybe most memorable moment that you had growing up on Nickelodeon. 40 freaking years. It's a long time. Thanks for hanging out with us. Until next time, peace.